Welcome, my constant reader friends. I'm Tad, and this is Tad Reads Books and Stuff. Well, welcome to another edition of the MARVEL-ous Team-Up with Tad and Grozz from the GKBC. As you know, every 2 weeks we discuss a graphic novel or comic book series that we are reading, and we are continuing with Thirsty Mermaids by Kat Leyh. So, we are now into part 2. Part 2 is titled, Y'all Need Jobs. Yeah. So, if you remember, the 3 mermaids who are now humans, they've got legs and they're speaking what I'm assuming is English, since I'm reading it in English. But they have now moved in with Vivi de la Vega, who was the bartender in the bar that they first got blotto drinking with. They've moved in with Vivi. Now, Vivi's sister, says you always pick up strays and they always end up hurting you. So you need to do something to protect yourself. So Vivi decides to have a sit down and talk with Pearl and Tooth and Ease and kind of lay down the law. She says, if you're going to be staying here, you got to help out. You got to help pay the rent. I need some money. I can't be paying, I can't be paying food and everything for you. You need new clothes. They've got like one set of clothes that they wear. And they don't kind of understand what money is. So Vivi says, I'm going to explain to you capitalism. So she has this discussion with them, trying to explain to them how money, you have to use money to pay for things, how you have to work to get money and different things, and the whole thing about capitalism. They don't understand. Pearl's like, you ever heard of the barter system? I mean, I don't understand this money thing. But anyways, she kind of says, you got to do this. She's got a handful of job applications that she's picked up for the girls. And she says, fill these out and bring them back to these places and try to get a job. She takes off. She's got to go to work at the bar, of course. And the girls sit around. Now, Pearl is kind of the leader of the group, if you will. And she decides she's going to start filling out these applications. And she does mention that for some reason, the spell that gave them legs and made them human allows them to speak the language and read the language. Not that they necessarily understand it all, but they can do it. So she feels like she can just go ahead and fill out these applications, and she can't write worth crap. Doesn't do a good job, gets frustrated, and says, you know what, that's it. Let's just go get jobs. They've made a decision that Pearl and Tooth are going to go out and get a job and leave Ease by herself so that she can focus on figuring out, a way to, or a new spell that can turn them back into mermaids. And so they're going to leave Ease on her own. We don't really see Ease in this part 2, but I believe we will in part 3. So they go out and they just say, we're going to do it in person. They go to these different places. So unfortunately, their efforts are pretty futile. They've got a lot of issues, right? Their clothing is working against them, the way they're dressing, their actions, the way they act and talk is working against them. They're kind of goofy, kind of direct. Also, their smell is working against them. So they're not having any luck. Every place they go, they're pretty much getting shot down. From ignored to kicked out of where they're going to. So they're kind of down. They're walking down the boardwalk, and they see a street performer. He's juggling these swords and riding a bike, and people all standing around giving him money. And Pearl's like, that's it. Well, this little kid sticks a stick in the spokes of the bike that the sword juggler is riding, and he falls, and the swords are falling down. And of course, Tooth is amazing. Tooth rescues the performer and catches the blades, and ta-da! It's almost like that was part of the show. People start throwing money at him. This is awesome. They're making money, and now they're street performers. Of course, a Karen has to come around with a police officer and says, they don't have their performing license, and you need to arrest them or whatever. This is the mother of the kid that put the stick in the spokes, and Pearl wasn't too kind to the kid. Pearl doesn't have a filter, so we understand. But anyways, it's kind of funny. The cops just standing there. What the hell? All right, give me your IDs. Of course, they don't have IDs. So Tooth starts using like sign language to Pearl, like, what should we do? Should we start fighting him or whatever? And Pearl gives sign language back. She says, like, basically split. So they just split and take off running. They get away. Later, we see them at the bar, with Vivi. They're proud, they're happy, they're drinking. Vivi gives them free drinks, and she gives Vivi money, and she's like, this is great. Is this gonna, cover the capitalism? And Vivi's like, yeah, this is great, and this will help pay the bills, get some food, even some leftover money for you to get some new clothes. But that's not it. Y'all are gonna have to do this again. Matter of fact, you're gonna have to try to make money every day. And pretty much Pearl just goes thump. Her head just hits the bar. Now, that's the end of part 2. Part 3's next. I haven't read it yet, but I'm not gonna talk about part 3. Let's just talk about my feelings of part 2. If you watched the last video we did, part 1 was kind of a downer for me. It starts off really good. The introduction was really promising and interesting. Part 1 kind of was a downer, kind of just slow. It just slowed everything down. I thought it was going to be crazy. Part 2 is a little better. I'm still not completely satisfied with it because of how promising the intro was to me. I even talked to my girlfriend about it, who's read the whole thing, and she said, yeah, her thing was the intro starts off with a bang, and then it seems like part 1, it just falls right off the table. She said, but bear with it, it does get better and better and better as you go, which I'm hoping for. I mean, I'm not hating it. I'm still liking it. It just, I have some issues. The artwork, I think, was a little tighter, a little more informative this part. But there's still some continuity errors in it. There's still some framing issues where you're not really following the action too precisely. But I can understand there's probably constraint on, how many frames you can have in each section to, fill a book. I'm sure her agreement with the publisher kind of sometimes hand ties these artists and writers. I know Alan Moore has had issues with this his whole career, and others have too. But so I understand it is you can follow it, but I wish there was a couple more frames showing a little bit more intricacy in the storyline. But definitely getting better than part 1, and I'm looking forward to part 3 and so on, and finishing up this book. So anyways, that's my thoughts on Thirsty Mermaids by Kat Leyh. I can't wait to see what Grozz says about this part in his videos. Again, I'm going to link his channel in the comments. Please check out his videos. And as always, if you find any entertaining value in my videos, please like, subscribe, give me some comments, and until next time, peace out.